Welcome back to the Big R Show. You know that we give you the news around sports. Currently, we are looking at football. Football is big all over the world. But that doesn't mean that at some point we are not going to talk about other sports. We will have to talk about other sports. And then I'm not alone. I'm together with Jakey, Umcheke Ntwentle, Jacob Selematsela. Jackie, can you greet the viewers out there?
Good morning to all the viewers at home. Thank you very much, guys, for supporting us. And keep logging in and keep your comments. We appreciate it so much. We love it, and then welcome to the show. Thank you.
And then I also have Ipindi Galkotwa, Uroy Ustum, Mkhonza. Ipindi Galkot, welcome to the show.
Hi, Saubrey and the listeners and the viewers at home, and the fellow panel, Jacob. I think others will join the later stage.
Yeah.
But thanks for the invite.
All right. Like I said, my name is the Saubrey Boyz, Walefatse from the Big R. I want us to start with the international football. I just want us to go to the Spanish. Let me give you the news. One of the biggest news is around Barcelona, because they have a big challenge. They don't have a president, and the guy who's an interim guy coordinating, he wants to buy Garcia, and then and I understand the other candidate, I think it's Font. Font does not see any problem, but Laporta is not agreeing to say, why do you buy now? Because the guy will be free in June. So why can't you wait for June so that we get the guy for free? He said it's not a crisis because we have Araujo. I don't know whether, guys, have you seen that guy, Araujo? Brilliant player. Brilliant player. He said we have Araujo and PK is coming back. We have Mtiti has wake up. I see now Mtiti is now, catching up. And then he said we have Langley. He said there's no rush. There's no rush. And if you ask me, where do I fall as far as this is concerned? I agree with Laporta here. They don't have money. Barcelona, to be honest, I don't know whether, guys, you are aware. There's a rumor that they can be declared bankrupt, especially during this course of the month. So now Laporta said, no, we don't have to sign this guy. Wait until we get him for free. And Laporta, according to Laporta, he has his plan in place. He wants to get Garcia for free. He wants to get Aguero for free. I think there are 3 guys that he's going to get for free. So Laporta said, there's no rush. And I don't understand the reasoning of other 2 guys. So we'll see how it's going to go. And currently, Laporta is leading. And the news is the elections for the presidential election will take place on the 7th of March. Now, apparently, they've also agreed that even if this corona continues, probably what they would do, they would allow people to vote by May. But they say, come what may, this must continue. And Laporta is a hot favorite that is going to take the hot seat. So that is what is happening in Spain. And then the other news that I want to share with you, I saw that we got statistics of the richest teams, okay? Doesn't want to, the teams that made a lot of money this year. No, 2020. All right. Let's see whether I will get this thing right. I want to check to show you the graphics of the team that made a lot of money in 2020. Although everybody's struggling, but I know that most of the teams are hoping that probably towards the end of this year, no, I don't get that graphic that I want. Probably by the end of this year, they will be able to indicate to us who's going to be. Let me try to get something here. They'll say probably towards the end of this year, the fans will be allowed to come in. So Laporta is hoping that they'll get money and they will buy players as they wish. But before I go, I also want to give you statistics, as always, around Lionel Messi. As you know that I have Lionel Messi special. I wanted to give you the dribbles. I don't know whether did I give you this. Can you see this one, guys?
Can you enlarge it a bit? It's too small.
It's too
You can
small.
enlarge it a bit. It's too small.
Let's enlarge it a bit. How's that? Can you see
Still
it?
small.
Still small.
Yeah, it's still small.
How's that?
Still, my brother.
How's that?
Still nothing, man.
Still small.
Yeah.
Now you can see.
Now.
Huh?
It's still small.
Still small. Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe let's leave this one and move to the other one. Let's see. Because I wanted to give you statistics. Let's share this one. New share. I don't know whether did I give you this one. Did I give you this one?
No, it's still the same one that you showed before.
No, it's a different one. How's that?
Still, my brother, nothing.
Still small.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, probably I know where could be the problem. Can you see now?
No. Still the same.
Still the same.
Yeah.
Okay. How about that?
Still.
No changes from our side.
All right. Okay, we'll sort them out sometime during the week, myself with Jackie. But this one, you were seeing it. That was yesterday. No, last week. How's this one? This one, you can see it.
Nothing has changed. Still the same one that you loaded
All right.
before.
No, that's fine. We'll see. We will look at that at a later stage. I wanted to give you the statistics in terms of the dribbles. You know, Messi has completed more than 1,500 dribbles. And then the player who follows him, the number 2 player, is lagging behind with 800. So which shows that this guy, he's got a terrible record or outstanding record. I heard Garega, they were interviewing him at ESPN. He said, look, Ronaldo is a great star, all right? And then he said, for me, these guys are at the same level. But Messi is another class, you know. It's difficult for anyone to classify. And what I see, normally players from England, they will always go for Ronaldo. But even in England, you find many players still going for Messi. And then, of course, in Portugal, the majority of Portuguese, they'll go for Ronaldo. So that is the thing. But we'll look at the statistics, then we'll talk about them at a later stage. Now let's look at the games that were played during the week. I had an opportunity to watch Barcelona, and when they were playing their Copa del Rey with Rayo Vallecano. Barcelona won that game 2-1. A very interesting game. I can see the combination of Lionel Messi and Pedri. And this time, I must say, maybe Koeman has proved me wrong. I watched Ricky Puig. I noticed what could be the problem with Ricky. Ricky will run with the ball, okay, and he gets tired. If you compare Ricky Puig and what is his name, and Pedri doesn't lose the ball, and Ricky loses the ball. So probably these are the little things that the coach was seeing. That is why he was not keen in using him. And then I still don't know what's happening with Griezmann, because Griezmann, his play is very good. He contributed a goal for that matter. But the finishing is a problem. You know, there were where he had, goal open. You know, he scooped it on top of the goal. I don't know whether he has lost confidence or what. But when it comes to the field of play, he's playing well. Dembele, a brilliant player. Once he introduced Dembele and Pedri, the game changed completely. Dembele adds pressure, but still, I think if I was advising Dembele, I would say, learn how to control the ball. He can't control the ball. If you know very well, guys, those who know teenage Zlatan, you know, teenage when it comes to controlling the ball, Asim Nini controlling the ball, Jomo Sono controlling the ball, Dr. Kumalo controlling the ball. Those guys, the ball would always, even Asim Zweleng, the ball would always be on their foot, you know. So those are the little things that Dembele still has to learn. And once he can learn that, Dembele is a great player. All right. So we'll see what's going to happen. So they won that game. Now they are going to the quarterfinals. And they have an opportunity because Real Madrid is not there. Real Madrid has been knocked out. So they have an opportunity to go all the way until they reach the final and then get another final. So those are the news as far as Spain is concerned. And then we'll see what's going to happen this week. I know that Barcelona is playing again Atletico Bilbao on Sunday. We'll see what's going to happen. And then, so that's it. Now, I don't know, Jackie, you want to go to Britain and tell us what happened? Remember, there was a big game yesterday of Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur. And then Pindagal Quarter, there was Arsenal that played during the week. I hope you saw that game, and they did extremely well.
We're going up.
Yeah. Who wants to start? Who wants to start? Arsenal or maybe need to start.
Jackie can give the. I'll give this the Italian.
Okay, Jackie.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah,
that was a very good one about the Spanish, especially the Lionel Messi special. I always enjoy it because you're telling us a mouthful on that.
Yeah.
Let's come to the Premier League, the English Barclays Premier League. I will start with the games that played on the 26th of January. Crystal Palace played against West Ham United, and West Ham United won that game 3-2. It was an away game for West Ham. And then Newcastle United played against Leeds United. It was an away game for Leeds United, and they won that game 2-1. West Bromwich Albion played against Manchester City. Wow. It was a walk in the park, 5-0. Manchester City won that game 5-0. And then a big one as well, Southampton played against Arsenal. That was a good score. Arsenal won the game 3-1. They're going up. Definitely, they are going up. They're rising just like horses.
Yeah.
And then we've got also another feature which took place on the 27th of January. We've got Chelsea played against the Wolverhampton Wanderers, and that game ended at a 0-0 score, and it was a 0-0 draw. And we've got Burnley that played against Aston Villa, and that score ended up at 3-2. Burnley winning that game. Brighton and Hove Albion, that is where now our own Percy Tau plays. They played against Fulham. I was watching that game, and the weather conditions were so bad. Really, I think they were so. That's why he was never given an opportunity to play. That game anyway ended up 0-0. But I was impressed with the way Brighton played, but not impressed with the way they were wasting opportunities. They had plenty of opportunities to score, but they wasted them. And the game ended at 0-0 draw. And then we also having a game, Manchester United played against Sheffield United. That was a shocker. It was a home game for Manchester United, and Sheffield United won that game 2-1, and Manchester lost it, just like that. It was a home game for Manchester. What a shocker. And then we've got also Everton played against Leicester City. That game was good as well, and that game ended up at 1-1 draw. And then another big game that played yesterday, Tottenham Hotspur. This is Mourinho against the Liverpool. I couldn't believe this one. Liverpool won that game 3-1. 3-1. Liverpool won that game.
Why you could not believe it?
You know what? I'm always afraid of Tottenham. The way they are taking. I thought maybe that game might end up in a draw, but you know what? I'm so proud with Liverpool. You never walk alone, my brother. And we are so unpredictable. That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game, indeed. Yeah. So, but you know what? It's very interesting because there's no easy game. There's no easy game at all. Quickly, I will take you to the features that are coming starting from tomorrow. Tonight we don't have any game. Tomorrow we've got Everton playing against Newcastle United, West Bromwich Albion playing against the Fulham, Manchester City plays against Sheffield United, Crystal Palace will be playing against the Wolverhampton Wanderers, Arsenal will be playing against Manchester United. That's a big one as well. Starting at 19:30.
That's a nice one. What time?
What time? 19:30. 7:30.
Okay.
7:30 tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll watch that one. We'll watch that one.
Definitely.
I want to hear what Tshepang says on that one. I want to hear Pindigal Kotwa says on that one.
Yeah. That's a game of the week, that one.
Yeah.
We will watch that keenly. And then on the 31st, we've got another feature as well. Chelsea will be playing against Burnley. Leicester City will be playing against the Leeds United. West Ham United will be playing against Liverpool. It's an away game for Liverpool. That's another big one. And then we've got Brighton and Albion. Wow, against Tottenham Hotspur. That's where our own Tau will be playing against Tottenham Hotspur. That will be another big game as well. That game is starting at 21:15 on the 31st. And then Liverpool and West Ham, they're playing at 18:30. So those are the games that we'll be able to watch over this weekend. Guys, I'm really looking forward to these games. Yeah. This is very interesting, I must say. If you know what, if you can look at the top 5 on the league, it's still Manchester United. I want us to look at the games. Manchester United played 19 games, and then they've got 41 points. The goal difference is 23. It's Manchester City. And then number 2, it's Manchester United. They played 20 games. The goal difference is 10. They've got 40 points. So it's just a matter of a point, the gap difference. But now, Man City has got one game in hand. And then number 3, you look at Leicester City. They've got 39 points playing 20 games. That's a very good team. Liverpool, we are up there. We are going up there bit by bit. 37, we played 20 games, and then we've got 37 points. And then look at number 5, West Ham. They played 20 games, and then they've got 35 points. Tottenham Hotspur, they're at number 6. And look at them. they played 19 games, and then they've got 33 points. Everton, they played 18 games, they've got 33 points as well. And then Chelsea, unbelievable. They played 20 games, they've got only 30 points. Arsenal, 20 games and 30 points. And then number 10, Aston Villa, they played 18 games and they've got 29 points. That is the top 10 that I can be able to tell
The
you
league
about.
is tight. The league is tight.
It's very tight, indeed.
Yeah, let's ask Pindigal Kotwa, what's your take about the game? I want you to even predict Man United and Arsenal. So what's your take? We can't hear you, Pindi.
Let me start by saying I think Jackie, the commentators were saying that the second leg is going to be very tight.
Yes.
You snooze, you lose.
Absolutely.
You snooze, you lose because it's either teams want to move away from the relegation, they want to go up, play safe, and then there's those that still have a chance, believe which they can challenge for. But I want to come to the game. There is one thing I think it was the game between United and Sheffield. I am not sure. We still disadvantaged here because we don't use the technology. But I was worried because the referee allowed the goal in one of the on the Manchester, but it is allowed. But if you look the goals, they're almost the same. So I was saying, why can't you then refer for VR to tell you exactly what happened? And that's another challenge I think FIFA is to look into. But up to the coming game, if you look at the game that we have played now, Arsenal was trailing. They came back very strong to get those 3 goals. So I'm saying, I just hope Manchester on the day will raise their heads up for the game to be very interesting. But with the youngsters that now, like I said, they are looking very, very, very positive. They know when they go to the field what they want. But it can be a very interesting game. But I give it to Arsenal 2-1.
But now I want you to comment about Saka. What's your take? And before you comment, there is a goal that was scored by Saka. I can tell you now, for me, that goal is the best goal that has ever been scored this season. And I can tell you, if that goal was scored by, let's say, for instance, Messi, I can tell you even today they could be talking about it. They would have said, marvelous. We haven't seen this thing, it's out of this world, or Ronaldo for that matter. But Saka scored this beautiful goal, and they were casting aspersion that there were some doubts that no, maybe he was not scoring, he was squaring, and then it went in by luck. It's a little. I don't know whether guys you remember that goal.
Yes, I do remember that goal.
And the way they were commentating, even after the game, one of the guys from television was asking Saka, were you intending to score that goal? But I can tell you, if it was Ronaldo, that question would never arise. If it was Messi, that question would never arise. I don't think it's fair. The boy's got talent, When you look at him, you may just doubt that this boy is very tiny, but he's got talent. I don't know, Pindigal Court, you want to comment on the boy, Saka?
Saubrey, if you follow our clips, I at one stage made a very critical comment about the commentators, moreover in the English Premier League. You talk of Saka. This boy plays with both feet. If he gets a chance, if he put it on the left, he will kill you. If he takes it to the right and you think he's a walking foot, He will kill you. He's good, but you are spot on. They will make those comments, but if it's another player, their favorite, the player they like, they say superb. That was a nice move.
Incredible. You know, the adjectives, I'm telling you, were out of this world. There would be so
Yes.
many adjectives. I mean, why you doubt the player and say, were you intending to score? Of course, when you kick the ball towards the goal, you want to score.
Exactly.
You see, they were saying no. And then they were like, no, maybe he was trying to score. Nah. Had it been Ronaldo, that would never be said. Had it been Messi, that would never be said. Sometimes it's unfair, eh?
Definitely
Right?
it is.
Yeah, Tshepang, I don't know. I want you to comment about Man United.
Hey, during the week, we had a really tough one. Eh?
Now about this
We
coming
never,
week, this coming Saturday game.
yeah, on Saturday, I was just wanted to build on for this weekend's game, but
Yeah.
I feel like we need to raise our heads high. The game is for us to lose. Comes back to that. It's for us to lose, and if we want to compete for the league, I think the boys know what they have to do. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's up to us if we want to play and give it our all or not. But I think the boys know what they have to do. So this game, it's also a decider whereby are we really going to compete for the league or not. But I truly believe that Manchester United will give it their all. But what I just want to see a very interesting game. That's all we want. We want to see beautiful football, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting game for sure. Yes.
All right. I want you to comment about Fernandes. What's your take about Fernandes? I hear commentators saying, yeah, he's a new guy who's going to be Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, he's a new guy who's going to be in the shoes of Lionel Messi. He's a good player, make no mistake. I don't know. I just want to hear you. I don't know, Jackie, you want to comment? You can comment. Even you, Pinnacle Quarter. Let's start with Tshepang as a Man United fan. What's your take?
No, man. Bruno Fernandes is a very special player. We all know that. For a player to win he won the Player of the Month 4 times in a space of 1 year, which was last year. It has never been done before, and he continues to actually raise the bar high. So he's a very special player, yes, in his own way. But we can't start comparing him with Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. But he is a very, very talented, special player. And yes, he's definitely someone to look forward to in the future. That's a fact. His stats also don't lie. So we can't discredit him in any way at the moment, but he's someone to look out for. So I expect to see a lot from him, and I think we are going to see a lot of him actually, and he's proving that week in, week out. So yeah, he definitely adds that spark into Manchester United. So yeah, I truly believe in him.
Okay. All right. Anyone who wants to comment about Bruno Fernandes?
Yeah, well, I mean, Tshepang has said a mouthful. I definitely to agree with you, Tshepang. I mean, Bruno Fernandes, he's the future, and it will be unfair to compare him to players like Messi and Ronaldo. He's definitely the future for Man United, and I think it was a very good signing for Man U, and I'm looking forward to seeing him delivering. He's such a very good player, very much talented in his own class, in his own way, but not comparable to the two guys. I'm really looking forward because I can see that he's got so much potential in terms of delivery.
Okay, guys, I just want to be unfair a little bit. I wanted us to talk about the news locally because I can see the time now, so that we discuss the derby. That's a big one. That's what we want to discuss. I don't know, Pindegal Kotwa, Are you happy with that, or you still want to do Italian?
No, okay, I will just give a summary of the Italian.
Okay.
I want to give an instance where, but the league there is too tight. Inter Milan and Milan and Inter are just chasing. But the nice part of it in that league is that the top two teams get beaten by the lower teams in the log. But what I wanted to speak about, which as we go into the derby now here, and what is happening the world over when the game start with this thing of racism and stuff. The instance that happened between Ibrahimovic and Lukaku doesn't bother well. Actually, it caused the other team because Ibrahimovic was after that incident, he got his second yellow and he had to match, and Milan had to make sure they capitalized on that, and that's how they won that game. And teams just need to speak about that. It can't be just a slogan of racism, because you could see that the tension between them, you could see it's just racism. The other one could see that no, you don't recognize me as a person, and this one you could say what do you want to do and what can you do. So I think teams, beside FIFA putting it in the leagues and everyone sponsors, I think teams must take this thing serious now, because you take for instance Inter Milan had to lose this guy. He's their striker, he's their goal
I
getter.
mean,
So far,
AC Milan.
yeah,
AC.
yeah, it's Milan. So it tells you that no, uh, this thing is just a matter of slogan, no racism, but they're not practicing it. But in summary, that league there is tight. It's tight between number 1 and 2. It's just 2 points.
Before you go, guys.
Mr. Shab-
Yeah.
oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Mr.
Tshepang.
Shabalala, I'm sorry, man. Yes, I'd just like to speak about this racism just a bit. I won't take much of our
No
time
problem.
and
No
viewers'
problem.
time. Yes. Yeah, this issue was very concerning. We're actually talking about it even yesterday. Um, we had an incident with Manchester United as they were playing Sheffield during the week. After the game, Anthony Martial and the defender Tonzobi, they were actually in a social media racial abuse incident actually. So a lot of racism were at them, saying that they're the ones that caused Manchester United the game because they were off form. So they were being racially abused on the social media, and it was very addressed. And the media in England actually like spoke out, and they were very much against it. So it's an issue, but when it comes back to the Inter Milan and AC Milan game, what happened between Zlatan and Lukaku, that also raised too many eyebrows, because now the matter is being quiet. Like they're all quiet about it. And actually, that video is actually trending. So we were all asking ourselves, what measures is the Serie A going to take? Because we all heard, I think, what Zlatan was actually saying to Lukaku, and that's being racist. To be honest, I mean, with everything that he was saying there, you can't say that he wasn't being racist. I mean, even the things that he was saying, even talking about his mother and his culture also. I think these are the red flags that we should actually start outlining, and we can't say because of it's Zlatan Ibrahimovic, then we can't talk about it and they won't take action about it. So I think certain things like we should stop being biased about them, but we should take everything actually seriously, because it was really a problem actually. After that game, even now it's still trending, the matter's still trending, and it's gaining a lot of fire. People are just angry. They just want to know what's going on, what measures will be taken on going forward. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Let me ask. FIFA, UEFA, La Liga, you name them, all these leagues, they talk, about racism, but we don't see stand action being mitigated, or being meted out, to see that we don't tolerate this. I'm sure the players now are used to, will simply, kneel down with one knee. It means nothing. But because look, it's not only in football, it's there. I'm sure Pindigal Quarter, at your workplace, is there. If there is no serious consequences, nothing will happen. So I think the teams or the soccer bodies, they need to start lead by example. Like Tshepang say, should Zlatan be found guilty, then action must be taken, so that it's a warning that if you do this, this will happen. All right. We saw what happened in the case of Lionel Messi. Him retaliating because this guy was irritating him. They wanted to take a stern action, ban him even for 12 games. Now, when somebody has been a racist, if that is the case with Zlatan, all right, if the facts are proven to be correct after investigation, I'm sure a stern action has to be taken. That way, it will eliminate racism. Otherwise, this is just going to be a slogan and it's not going to end. That's my view. And you guys can have a different view. That's my view. I don't think serious action is being taken against racism. I don't know. Anyone who wants to comment? All right.
I agree with you. I definitely agree. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly well.
I definitely do agree with you. The problem is that no stern action that has been taken since, because this thing is not the first time it's happened. It's been there for quite some time. You know those guys who are coming up with your bananas and then especially Lukaku is a target. He's been a target for quite some time. And then a player like Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's been racist, that guy, from day one. I've seen his reactions. Remember when Steven Pienaar was playing for Ajax Amsterdam? He mentioned one day that, is this a ball boy or it's just somebody who's coming there? And then the coach told him that no, he's not a ball boy. He's Mr. Pienaar from South Africa. He's playing for this particular team, and we have to show him respect. You see, that kind of a guy, he thinks that because he's got money, he will undermine other people. Then, that kind of a guy, for me, I've got no place for such people. I'll always have a place for people who are showing that good sense of humor, who are caring about other people, who are showing that respect to other people. We always talk about your dignity. Living with dignity in life is very important. You don't need to undermine other people. So Zlatan is racist naturally. I've seen him on so many occasions. That's why I don't even like him. I'm sorry to say that, but you know what? He's not one of my favorites anyway. But it's important that the associations, they take action. FIFA must also be able to take action, sterner action, and be an exemplary. So it looks like they are selective in their decisions because nothing serious that has been done throughout, and this problem has been existing for quite some time. That's my input into that, my brother.
How about putting it this way? Remember, this time is not FIFA, it's the local league. How about saying the local league should take a stern action? The team itself, AC Milan, they must do their investigation. Once they found that to be true, they must take stern action. But guess what? Because Zlatan is an investment, I don't think the team will take that stern action because that will compromise them. Remember, they rely on Zlatan. They are where they are because of Zlatan is a presence. So I wonder, sometimes I always argue, guys, you'll tell me, I see Mr. Mkhonza has raised his hands. I sometimes say, if a player, now I'm not talking about racism now, a player cost a team, let's say by getting a second yellow, knowing that he was on a yellow. I think our coaches and the team, they must start punishing them in the pocket and say, because you have cost the team, you are not going to earn. It must be part of the contract. All right? But our teams, they tolerate this thing. Instead, they want reasons to reason out why he had to do that. And remember, you see a guy taking second yellow. He knew that he was on yellow, so you don't have to take a second yellow. And the next thing, yeah, he goes out and he does that. The next thing, the team loses. So, and then nothing is being done. You know, it's work as usual. We are not going to have this guy for the next game. We lose again, and nothing is being done. So it must go to the pocket. That's my feeling. Pinnacle court.
So I want to agree with Jacob here. I think let's not shift away the responsibility. FIFA is a governing body and it has affiliates. And those affiliates then have teams below them. So if the governing body gives a stance warning or gives you a call to say, we saw what was happening in your league, we want a report, and it goes further now to the league to say, hey, so and so team, FIFA has touched on us. We are also looking at you. Can you please, so that at least it builds up. So if the governing body just look at these things, it will never. We can't leave it to the teams. Let me give you an example. You see what has been happening here in PSL. I see now this poor referee just came now, has been given some. These things have been happening, and you've got a review team committee that sits on Mondays and review these things. And you ask yourself, why have they been waiting for all these years? Because things have been happening, mistakes have been, because it's not the only mistake that has happened to this ref. There's others when they meet on Mondays. But they just have to make an example with this one because maybe it's an easy way to just to please the other team to say, oh, anyway, we action. But there's a lot of mistakes. So I think the mother body, the governing body, here FIFA being the overall, needs to really look into these things, and it has to then flow down to the last stakeholder, which are the teams and the players.
But Mr. Mkhonza, when you talk about separation of powers, if FIFA goes in, let's say the decision is not favorable, where is the player going to make an appeal? I don't think it has to start there. FIFA should be the last body because remember, there will be a time whereby whoever is aggrieved after whatever action, he still has to appeal. So now, if FIFA comes in immediately, so there is no opportunity that that appeal will come to them. They would have muddied their case. So
No,
it's better.
What I'm saying is the governing body. It's not a matter of taking actions. It's flagging it to say we saw what happened. If the process is then, it assists even them to say at some point if there is an appeal, you take to your local and you feel that it was not attended to, then you escalate up until people can wake up and say no, but we warned you, we flagged you to say please look into such instances.
But legally speaking, once you comment on a particular case, you have already muddied yourself. So it would be proper for FIFA to keep quiet and see who does what. Because at some point, it will come to an appeal. Because once you comment, it's like a court case. You know, a court case. I see what is happening. I'm not happy. I'm a chief, what do you call, Chief Justice. And I start commenting about your case. That case will never come back to me.
No, but
I've already commented.
It's a different case. I'm saying here, you've got a campaign that you are running the world over as a governing body is about racism, and you see this thing happening. You can't then just, it means your campaign that you are running, you are just doing it for the sake of sponsorship so that they are happy, at least when they put their money, you are concerned. But if really you want to take stance and action, you can just flag them to say, remember, when we start our games, we start with we kneel down, everyone speaks about this. So it's not a matter of saying, no, somebody has complained. They're running the campaign now to say we must do away with racism.
Let
So
me
they've
hear.
got a stance to say,
Are you done?
yeah.
Let me hear other guys so that I avoid dialogue between me and you. I'm asking questions so that we have clarity. Jackie, do you have a comment as far as this is concerned?
That's correct. Yes, I do have a comment, Mr. Tao. Yeah. Let me just clarify what I was saying before. When I spoke about FIFA, I'm talking about FIFA in terms of instilling or implementing. I mean, coming up with the rules that governs this matter of racism. What the clubs should be as affiliates. What are they supposed to do? What are their responsibilities? And then if they are not implementing that, FIFA must come hard on them because they are not implementing what was agreed upon as a rule. So definitely, I'm still saying, if any team is not complying with the FIFA rules, FIFA must be able to make sure that they instill that. They must discipline that particular team. They must be hard on that particular team, especially when it comes to racism. It's not the first time that it's happening. It's been happening for quite some time, and I've never seen anything concrete happening. Definitely nothing. Even FIFA is quiet on that matter. FIFA is the leading body, so they must be able to make sure that they instill whatever that they want to instill into their associations. Associations, then they've got affiliates, which is their teams. They must be able to follow the FIFA rules. Any team that is failing to comply, there must be consequences. Definitely.
All right.
So that's exactly what I was complaining about. Yeah.
All right. No, I don't have an issue. I was alerting you of the governance issue.
Yes.
Governance principles. Governance principles should be the same. It doesn't matter whether it's football or what. Tshepang, do you want to say something on this matter?
No, all I can say is, I think when we summarize everything, FIFA shouldn't be biased. It shouldn't take sides. Whether you are the most expensive player on earth, I mean, if you act in such a manner, I mean, it's called sportsmanship. Sportsmanship, like that rule, becomes instilled to each and every sportsman and sportswoman. So it doesn't matter whether you the highest paid athlete on earth, but it doesn't give you the right to actually act the way that you are acting. Despite we could say you've got all the sponsors and everything, or the club can be, the club's name can be tarnished or whatever if they would act. But I mean, like, principles are principles and values are values. So it just shouldn't be biased in any way. So certain things shouldn't just be overlooked, but the right manner and the right steps are supposed to be taken, irregardless of who are. So yeah, that's my side.
Okay. We'll talk about this. I wanted to say, not to say I'm condoning, but I'm saying governance principles are the same. As I was giving an example that here is a case, I see it, I'm a Chief Justice. Once I comment, I will never be involved in that case anymore. And that's one principle that I want you guys to take note. But nevertheless, we'll talk about this. Let's move on. I want us to go local and then give us the news quickly for just 5 minutes on local. Thereafter, giving us the news. Then we want to talk 5 minutes about other teams. Then the remaining 20 minutes let's allocate it to the derby. Jackie, you can start with the news.
Thank you very much, Saul. Before I come to the features and the results, I just need to highlight some few quick issues that took place. Bloemfontein Celtic is in trouble, is in hot water. They've been banned for 12 months. They will never be able to sign any player for the next 12 months, pending the contract that they existing contract, which was terminated by Celtic. Their former goalkeeper Tshepang has claimed this to FIFA. They say they're supposed to pay him 3 million rand, and FIFA has found Celtic guilty, and they're supposed to pay that 3 million rand. So now Celtic is busy fighting for that matter, and then as a result, they say they can't just leave it like that. So we'll see as time goes on. But FIFA has given a decision that SAFA must be able to talk to Celtic, and then they must be able to tell them what is the next action plan that they intending to do, so that they can be able to resolve this matter. But they must pay 3 million rand to their former goalkeeper, which is Tshepang. And then we've got also Dylan Kerr, who is now the former coach of Black Leopards. He was dismissed at 00:28 a.m. by Black Leopards. So they're doing things at night now. What can we say? And then after they've sacked him, what happened is that they took Hlonolo Siema and Morgan Shivambu. They are now the interim coaches at Black Leopards. They played their first game against Mamelodi Sundowns. First half, they were leading by 1-0. They were looking like they're going to collect 3 points, and they lost the momentum, and then Sundowns beat them 2-1. And it's quite a disaster. Anyway, what can we say? Good news, which just came in now. We've got, you remember the defender from Rushni Deru from Maritzburg United, officially has been signed by Mamelodi Sundowns, and then they are rushing to sign him before Sunday so that he can be able to play in their CAF games. Right. Now, gentlemen, let me quickly rush to the results. I will start from the games that they played from the 24th. We had a game between TTM that played against SuperSport. SuperSport won that game 2-0, and it was an away game for SuperSport. I know Bradley Grobler scored and another player there. And then also we've got a game between Cape Town City, played against Golden Arrows. That was such a wonderful game. Remember, Golden Arrows, before playing this game, they were unbeaten. And then what happened is that they scored the first goal, and then they scored the second goal. They scored the first goal, equalizing, and then from there they led 2-1. After that, in the second half, Cape Town City scored 3 more goals, and then they finished the game at 4-2. It was quite a wonderful game to watch. And then on the 26th, it was a humdinger. It was an emotional kind of a game, because remember, Baroka denied Amakosi to win the league last season. So this game ended up at 1-1, and I can tell you that, you know what, we still need to have another review on this game, because there were so many things that were not going on correctly. But we will talk about it, another subject for another day. We've got also a lot of Pirates that played against TS Galaxy. Remember, TS Galaxy now is coached by Sean Bartlett as the assistant coach, and then he's coaching with Owen Dagama. And then this game ended up at 1-1 draw. And then we've got also Black Leopards that played against Mamelodi Sundowns. Black Leopards lost that game 2-1 to Sundowns. Shalulile scored 2 goals for Mamelodi Sundowns. And then the recent game which took place this afternoon, let me say this evening, Usutol Mapeshankon, the Benny McCarthy-led Amazulu FC, they beat Stellenbosch FC by 2-1. Those are the games that took place. And then I will also give you quickly, I'm just going to give you the features for the weekend so that everyone can be ready for that. The first feature that I'm going to give you, just 1 second. The system is a bit slower now. There we go, we're coming now. Yeah, if you look at the features, we don't have anything playing tonight. The features are only starting tomorrow. We've got the big one, the Derby, Orlando Pirates playing against Amakosi Kaizer Chiefs. We will come back to that game. It will be starting at 3:30. We will come back to that game, and then we'll talk more about that. We'll give you more information concerning the Derby. And then tomorrow again, 5 o'clock, Bloemfontein Celtic will be playing against TTM. Remember that TTM is now under a new ownership, and he has already committed himself that he will pay whatever money that is outstanding, up to 15 million rand. He will be able to pay all those players and salaries that were behind. He will be able to sort that one out. We've got also Golden Arrows will be playing against Maritzburg United. Black Leopards will be playing against TS Galaxy. Supersport United will be playing against Izinyoni. The Birds, up the Birds. That will be at 5 o'clock tomorrow. That's another big game, guys, that we also need to watch. And then we've got also a game on Sunday, Mamelodi Sundowns playing against Chippa United. That's a humdinger of a game. It's playing in Sundowns home game at 3:30 on Sunday. And then we've got Baroka playing against Cape Town City in Polokwane. That game will be taking place on Sunday at 3:30. Those are the results in short, and then those are the features as well. And then I'm going to take you. Can I get permission from Mr. Tau? Shall we talk about the Derby now?
No. Let's move to Pindegal Kota. I know he's got some news. Pindegal Kota, any news that you want to share with us? The news that you picked up locally? Nothing at the present moment.
I think Jacob is
Covered
on most of them.
All right. And then Tshepang, anything that you want to share with us? News?
No. There's no news currently. No.
All right. And then I hear that Dr. Ivan Koza was briefing the press media last night. What happened? What was the news coming from there?
Okay, Dr. Ivan Koza, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Ivan Koza was talking about this sale of TTM, because remember now, the government is also concerned about these teams of buying teams, people buying teams, and then from there, tomorrow they are selling and all those kind of things. So the government is concerned, and then with the players as well, the unions being concerned as well. So Dr. Ivan Koza, he came up to explain exactly how is the process taking place. I remember some weeks ago, we spoke about the due diligence process, which was, we thought it was not followed accordingly. According to Dr. Koza, Mr. Mulaudzi was doing well in the first division, and then his finances were very good. There was no reason to say no when he wanted to buy the team. And then he also highlighted that there was a team, Wits University. They wanted to buy Wits University back, TTM. They wanted to buy it back. And unfortunately, Dr. Sillo is the one who came up with a very good offer. And then he also he paid about 40 million rand, and then he will be able to pay up to 15 million rand, which is the debts of the entire team. And furthermore, he explained that now they also go to the bank and then they verify the balance of that particular new buyer that is having. They check if that particular individual will be able to sustain in terms of the payments and running the team. And then this is exactly the process that they are doing. And all of a sudden, if the team doesn't have money, they also worried about the fans. They are happy because there is a buyer. As long can you imagine if there was no buyer right now, and then TTM says we cannot be able to sustain ourselves, then it means that now the team will be liquidated. Everybody becomes a loser. And remember that the league has got a certain number of teams that they're supposed to play. It was going to be a disaster. So they are happy because there is a willing buyer who was also willing to take over everything, all the debts that are available for TTM. So Mr. Mulauzi himself, he even confirmed today on a certain news report that it was difficult for him to run TTM because at first everyone was talking about TTM. They were criticizing him left and right. And the very same people who are saying that, these are the people from Limpopo, the very same people who were not able to buy any team for Limpopo. Now he bought the team in Limpopo, and then he brought it to Limpopo. They were not supporting him. Instead, they were laughing at him. He was a laughing stock. So each and every day, they will create stories. Stories, some of them are not even there. They will create stories of salaries. They will create stories of contracts and all those kind of things. So he felt that now it's difficult for him, because even his last cent that he reserved for his family, he had to use that money because of the situation, the way it was so bad. So he's not regretting the fact that he's sold the team, because the person that he sold the team to has agreed that, number one, the team will not move away from Limpopo this season. And the team will not change the name to another team this season. If that happens, it could be something that will happen in the next season. So the people of Limpopo will still be able to have a team. And they've done their due diligence 100%, and they are happy with the buyers of the new team. And they are looking forward, because they are happy because the gentleman also committed that he will be able to pay everything, everybody that is being owed by TTM, he will be able to pay. He budgeted close to 15 million for that.
Okay, let's move on to the derby, guys, because I'm worried about time now. We would have talked a lot about this, because I was interested when they say vets, is that bid vets? Or
Yes.
I wanted to get clarity around that one, but fine, let's move on.
Yes.
The derby, guys, this is the big one. South African football is known for both Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs. We all know that Kaizer Chiefs is known all over Africa. We all know that Orlando Pirates is known all over Africa. Orlando Pirates is the first team that brought us a star in our country. We never had a star until Pirates came to the party. So yeah, and these teams, they have roots. You go to Zimbabwe, you find a lot of people supporting these two teams. Swaziland, Lesotho, Botswana, they're entrenched. Zambia, these teams are really being followed. So this is a big one. This is a big one. So I don't know, Pindagal Kotwa, or maybe let me start with Tshepang, so that we give each other a chance. Tshepang, what's your take? A derby, a big one.
Yeah, this is a big one. It's a very big game, but I also want to say that um, it's going to be a tough challenge for the players also, for both Chiefs and Pirates. There is a lot of players that need to prove themselves amongst this game, and especially I could say Kaizer Chiefs side. So a lot of players have to step up. To be honest, they need to come to the party. But also same applies to Orlando Pirates too. So I think both teams have a lot to prove. To be honest, I think that this will be the case during the derby. Both teams need to prove themselves, or the players need to prove themselves. It's not up to the coaches, but to the players. So it's going to be a very interesting game. That's all I can say. But I foresee an upset tomorrow. That's all I
Upset,
can say.
which
Yeah.
means what?
You
Articulate
know,
that upset.
it's I know I might be saying something very, very tricky at the moment, but I think on Monday we'll be saying we'll be talking about something different. I see Kaizer Chiefs winning this game tomorrow. Not that I'm a Chiefs. Yes, I am a Chiefs supporter, but I'm based on my analysis. There's just something I feel like we're going to see a different game. So I foresee Chiefs winning this game. So yes, that's all I can say for now.
But Chiefs has not been scoring many goals this season. So what makes you think that Chiefs will win? Because it looks like it's dry in terms of the front players. Yes, I see Njukovic is doing well. His presence means a lot. But sometimes I see Mato. I don't know whether he's still disturbed at the back. I see him stumbling at some point there and there. Doesn't that worry you as far as that is concerned? And then that's one thing. And then the other thing is, I don't think Chiefs at this present moment in time, they have a trusted 11. That's my take. They are still trying this one and that one in that position and so on. I may be wrong. I may be wrong. Pinnacle Quarter, I'm just giving you what I observe, and then you can tell me what you think. Remember, this is my opinion. And people out there, please subscribe. And remember, this afternoon, we have a big one. So before this afternoon, just tell us who's going to win. If it's Chiefs, just say Chiefs. One, Pirates what? Or Pirates one, Chiefs what? So it's up to you. So please make a comment and like and tell us who's gonna win between Chiefs and Pirates. Somebody said to me this afternoon, I can tell you these ones are going to play another draw. Pindigal Court.
Saubrey, I was also thinking they must just live up to the expectations of the derby of late. They've been, except for the recent one, but they've been disappointing. I just hope on the day they rise to the occasion. But in terms of the game, if both teams really perform, both teams at the bank are porous. Pirates is the same, Chiefs is the same in terms of the back line. So what is maybe good for Chiefs going to this match is that they've picked up the momentum at the right time. I was looking at comments from the Pirates coach. Already Pirates fans, and I know if it's not for Kgole, because he always stands for his coaches, they're already calling for his head. So he was even saying he doesn't know. He wins 2 games. He meets people on the streets. They greet him. But if they lose or draw, it's a different. So I just think it's going to be a good game. Chiefs picked up at the right point. But I'm also uh, looking at the previous games. I think Chiefs will win this one, 2-1.
Although that Chiefs played draw during the week.
Yes, like I said, Sobri, is the elemental mistakes at the back. And if you look on what the goal that they were scored against, you've moved, you have structured the team for an example, technically, you've moved Cardozo to the midfield, so you are closing the way. At least you are giving cover. But if those guys from the middle to the back line, still things are not happening, it tells you the structure is not yet absorbed or taken care of. So, but looking at the previous experience, if they can fix that, like I said, both teams at the back, they're porous, but looking at the performance, individual play, remember, you've got Frosler now is bringing another element, those crosses from the back. So I give it to Chiefs, 2-1.
Okay. When you talk about Pirates coach complaining about pressure, those are the results of coaching a big team. See what's happening with Real Madrid. Zinedine Zidane wins the league, and this he doesn't win the Champions League, then there's a problem. Barcelona, they win the league, internal tournament, they don't win the Champions League, there is a problem. So that's the pressure of coaching a big team. Go to Man United, the same thing. If you lose 1 or 2 games, there's pressure. I think the coach must understand that coaching a big team is very demanding. So if I were him, I wouldn't complain. I think when he took Pirates, he knew that this is what he's going to encounter. But Jackie, I don't know. You can say what you want to say. I was just giving my own view, just trying to lead you guys and ask you questions as you do your analysis and ask questions there and there and see whether you're answering all the questions that are at a disposal. Jackie?
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Yeah, you've said a mouthful, and I like the predictions. They are saying a lot. I see that now there's so much confidence from my colleagues, and then I like that. Just a quick one. I'm just going to talk about the derby. Let me just briefly give a history or background about the derby itself, what is basically happening. Since 1971, Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates, they've met about 171 times in official matches. So on these 171 matches, what is basically happening is that Kaizer Chiefs have won about 40 games, and then Pirates have won 22 games. Remember that since the PSL era, which started from 1996 up to 1997 season, the game tomorrow will be game number 49 of the league clash. And on all those league clashes, Kaizer Chiefs have managed to win about 40 of them. And then Orlando Pirates have won lesser than that. Now, 36 games on those games, they ended up in a draw. So overall, it tells us that, you know what, history doesn't mean anything in this
While
kind of a time.
while you're still there, Jake, you said they played 49 games. Chiefs have won 40. Get the numbers right there.
Okay. Since the inception of the PSL era, which started between 1996 up to 1996 and 97 season, they have played 48 games, leagues. I'm talking about league games only.
Yeah.
The game tomorrow will be game number 49. Right?
And Chiefs won how many?
Right. I said earlier on, overall, they've played 171 times in official matches.
Yeah.
Right. And then Chiefs and Pirates history stretches back from 1970.
Yes.
And then what is basically happening is that they have met a further 97 times in the league games, right? And then in these league games, when you break that number, you find that now the game of tomorrow will be game number 99. So of the previous 98 league games, Chiefs have won 98 games, with Pirates managing 22 wins and 36.
No. Chiefs have won how many?
40 games.
Oh, 40 games, yeah.
Yeah, we talk about the leagues now. Only the league.
Yeah.
Not anything, only the league. We've got 98 games.
Yeah.
Not counting the one for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And out of this 98, Kaizer Chiefs have won 40 games.
Okay.
With Pirates managing 22 wins.
Okay.
And the remaining 36 games ended up in a draw.
Okay.
Right. And then, as you move on, it tells you that, you know what, history doesn't play any important role, doesn't play anything much in these games. I know that Orlando Pirates beat Kaizer Chiefs 5-0 on aggregate earlier this year. So that particular kind of a history, it doesn't play any important role. If you look at Kaizer Chiefs right now, without being biased or anything like that, we know all of us that they cannot be able to sign any players. But if you look at Orlando Pirates, they've signed very good players. And I think something's missing within the Pirates camp at the moment, because they've got all the quality, they've got all the players, but psychologically something's not right. Something is lacking. This is not the same Orlando Pirates that we all know, who are playing counter-attacking and then that good kind of a brand football, scoring goals. Orlando Pirates is struggling, just like Kaizer Chiefs, to score goals as we speak right now. So I would agree with my colleague Tshepang saying there will be a I don't know whether he said a heartbreak or a shock or anything like that. That will happen tomorrow. Currently, looking at the history, especially this season, all the odds are against Kaizer Chiefs. Orlando Pirates are the favorites at the moment, that they can be able to win that game tomorrow. So, but a miracle will happen. Kaizer Chiefs might win that particular game. I'm not saying because I'm a favorite Kaizer Chiefs fan or anything, but I'm just looking at my stats and my analysis. You see. So at the same time, Mr. Dow, you mentioned that now somebody said to you, this might be a draw.
Mhm.
I'm saying that now, yes, I agree with you. It could be a draw, but I foresee these youngsters of Kaizer Chiefs doing well tomorrow.
Mm.
And even Orlando Pirates, they'll be doing well. But now, only the score, which will be very slim, a
Mm.
very thin line of 1-0 there,
Mm.
will take place. And
Now,
Kaizer Chiefs will win that one.
now, how about the element that there are no fans out there? Do you think it will play some kind of an influence on the players? Because I hear players in Spain saying, ah, you know what, this thing of not having fans, it's really demotivating, you know. We are not pushed because normally we would hear the noise, and then if you do wrong, they would encourage you or applaud you. So what do you think, Tshepang? Do you think this thing of fans not being there may play a role?
That's a very good question right there. Um, it's all in the mind. I think now the mindset plays a huge role.
Mm.
So it's time to prove yourself. You don't need any backing from anyone to actually shout your name or encourage you to keep going on. Now it's up to you. So it's basically, yes, the coach will be there, will be making noise at you, and the whole technical
Mm.
team. But you are alone now in the pitch,
Mm.
and you can actually see yourself
Mm.
without other people calling you out. So it's all in. So this game, basically, I actually wanted to touch on this. It's going to be it's all about the mindset of the players.
Mm.
So now we want to see, do you have what it takes?
Mm.
Because now the fans are not involved. It's more of like now,
Mm.
what kind of mindset do you have? So
Mm.
are you going all the way, or you don't have nothing to prove? So
Mm.
now players need to prove themselves without the fans. So it's the
Mm.
character that they're going to possess on the day,
Mm.
whether they want it or not. Hence why I was saying that I foresee an upset, because if we can look at it, Orlando Pirates plays different when fans are around. But now, since fans aren't around, I've been seeing Orlando Pirates. They're just all over the place.
Mm.
Not that I'm speaking bad of the team, but they as Mr. Jackie was saying, that they're just all over the place. They've got everything, but they can't get it together. So they're inconsistent. But
Mm.
now Kaizer Chiefs are playing with what they have currently, but they are beginning to climb up the ladder. So they're using what they have. They know that they have to use what they have.
Mm.
So I think by now
Mm.
they all, even the players, have got it right. Not 100%, but they're getting there. So the players are actually coming to the party. They're starting to come to the party and starting to understand. So imagine a team like this with the squad that they have, without even fans to actually encourage them that, okay, it's fine, guys, keep on going. But now they don't have that kind of atmosphere. So
Mm.
with them, it's a different ball game. So that's why I'm saying we're going to see an upset on this.
Isn't it that Chiefs is also exposed to the same conditions? Chiefs players are also facing the same condition of not having fans, encouraging them. Now let's go to Pindal Quarter. Is it not that Chiefs is also facing the same condition? We've got a minute to go, Pindal Quarter, eh? Jackie,
No,
I'm gonna move on after this one, eh?
Yes.
no,
No
so
problem.
but I've given my based on all the aspects and analysis. I told you, Chiefs has picked up the right time
Mm.
in terms of understanding the Gavin Hunt's way of playing, the slump they had. Now they are trying
Mm.
to come back.
Mm.
The fence factor. So at the moment, and these ones on the other side, pirates, they are just hot, blowing hot and cold,
Mm.
and whether, as Jackie said, there could be some things behind that are happening, we don't know. But I don't think, like I said, the coach has given this now. So going to the game tomorrow, but the derby game, whether there's fans, but it's always it is like I said when I started. I just hope they perform up to the expectations of everyone.
The truth of the matter is they'll be watched by millions all over the world. That's the truth of the matter. If they can understand that one, so it's not that they are no fans. They are watched by millions. So people will be watching, will be watching, everybody will be watching. Guys, I really appreciate. Jackie, I didn't allow you to come in on this one. I'm looking at the time. And then we will, on Monday, I'll see your prediction. Tshepang said 2-1 Chiefs. Pindegal Koto say 1-0 Chiefs. Jake, you
No,
said
I also said 2-1.
1. Okay, Jake, you said 1-0.
1-0, yes.
All right. Then on Monday we'll talk. We'll talk and see. I hope Paris won't surprise you guys. Eh? Yeah, thank you very much. And then
It's also a final tomorrow between Sharks and the Blue Bulls.
oh, okay, yeah. In the rugby field, innit? Okay, good luck to the best team. Okay, guys, thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a
Thank you
lovely
so
weekend.
much. All
Thank you.
right.
Job. Thanks, guys.